when it comes to black boys, oftentimes they are relegated to being just a YN. And I want to make sure that when I contribute to my society, that I don't create, black boys who follow that same route because they don't really have much guidance to begin with. And so I took it upon myself to create 10 things that I would teach my black son, so that when it comes to what it is that these young black boys face in this world, they know what they're dealing with and they know how to compose themselves and be able to get the best out of life in which they possibly can. So follow along with me and my philosophy, and let's get through these 10 points, or these 10 things that I would teach my black sons. Like in my other video, none of these things are in any actual order. I just numbered them as I went along. So, starting with number 1. The world doesn't care about you or your problems. You're a male, and a black male on top of that. This entire world does not only not care about you, but it wants you to fail. It counts on it. Now, this is not saying that you won't find any genuine people along your journey, but don't be too quick to think that everyone cares about you. There's an album by the name of Nobody Cares, Work Harder by Dizzy Wright. And although I don't want that to be the way in which you carry the entirety of your life, I want you to know that slow progress beats no progress. So even though things are, gonna get hard for you, it still benefits you to find some way to keep moving forward. And sometimes your boys won't care. Sometimes your girl won't care. Sometimes your family won't care. Sometimes your school won't care. Sometimes your job won't care. And one thing that definitely will never care is them bills and miscellaneous expenses that come up out of nowhere. They will definitely never care what you're going through. If you're going through anything, they do not care. Get them their money. And that's all they care about. So, always keep it moving in whatever way you can find to do so that you don't get swept away by life and not be able to do anything about it. Number 2, you are valued for the value you bring. Nobody cares about you for just being who you are. You need to produce something of value to people for them to truly value you. Now, whether you provide something like skills, insight, charisma, time, finances, energy, or a high social standing, you will only get out what you put in. And a man with nothing to provide is often a very overlooked and dismissed person, and people don't genuinely tend to value them. So always make sure that you're doing something or working on something to have in your bag that you can do for other people. Number 3, save today, danger tomorrow. Take the time to build skills in something you find an interest in, and a safe economic trade like plumbing, construction, technology, health, truck driving, etc. Then use that as a safety net when you go to chase your dreams. Things may or may not work out, or maybe your dream doesn't involve you making that much money. But if that is indeed the case, make sure that you have something that you can fall back on or do in hard times that, still has an interest to you that you can use to keep the finances up in the case where something you really want to do may not pay that much, or in case that you go for something and maybe you failed, or maybe it didn't turn out the way you hoped, and you have something you can fall back on so that you can still survive economically. And fortune favors the bold. So it'll be a lot easier for you to take that leap of faith when you know you have already built a safety net under yourself in a very, well sought out field that, is going to keep you paid if things don't work out the way you need them to. Number 4, every male has a beast inside of them. What you use it for shows your character. What you're willing to die for will determine the type of man that you are while you're alive. Nobody wants to die. but what are you willing to die for? And knowing that will give you a purpose and a will to live. You may not find it in your youth, but what is important enough is that, you need to find something that is important enough for you to lay your life down for it. Oftentimes people say that that's the family that they create. When you have kids and a wife, those are normally the things or normally the reasons why you would crash out in order to protect your, wife and kids. So, or maybe you might want to be like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and die for, bettering and furthering on the fight of Black American liberation. But whatever you choose, find it and live for it and be willing to die for it. Number 5, the world shifts to you when you move. Don't just talk about it, be about it. And it will be very uncomfortable in the beginning. But if there's something you want in or of this world, you have to put it into motion. And trust that everything that needs to will fall into place. I saw a video once where there was this truck trying to scoot into traffic. Nobody would stop for him. So what he did was he inched his way every single lane until he took up every single lane that he needed to take up so that he could be able to finally drive down one of them lanes. And the more in which he moved, of course it made people upset, but the thing is that they stopped and they allowed him to move and everything fell into place the way he needed it to. That's the same way it works with life. You need to always be taking the movements to create it. And as long as you're taking the movements, things will start to fall into place. People often say luck is when opportunity meets preparation. And so if you're always doing something, always preparing and always looking for them opportunities, all you need is one time for it to come together and then boom, you're good. Alright, so I wasn't able to fit everything into one video like last time, so I came up with some more bonus points. Now, these bonus points are, something that I feel like, don't need that much of an explanation. So we go ahead and get through these pretty quickly. Number 1, stay healthy. Black men have some of the country's lowest life expectancies. Take care of yourself, body, mind, and spirit. Number 2, your seed is sacred. Don't go around spreading your royal oats everywhere. Practice discipline. Because when you have a child, you're forever locked in for the life of that child with whatever woman you have them with. So choose wisely. Number 3, you're not that guy. You can't change a woman, so don't even try. You can't make her feminine because if she already isn't, most likely she won't be. Some men may beg to differ. Some men may say that they've been able to do the opposite. However, understand your risk and, she has to want to change herself. Otherwise, she won't. Number 4, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. You are always one crash shot or emotional outburst away from losing your life, career, or livelihood. You are feared and envied, so you have to be on your best guard as much as you possibly can because people are counting on you to fail. Number 5, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. But make sure you can tell a trap when you smell one. Black men don't always get, the most love from the women in our own community, but women have played on that before too. Sometimes even, some black women from other ethnicities have played on it as well. Number 6, greater is a man who could control himself than a man that could conquer a nation. Self-control is the only control you need to learn and to have and use. Many men can't control themselves and want to control others to compensate. Number 7, you are not invincible. During your youth, you may think that and feel like you can do it all. You can do a lot, but don't be stupid. Don't man it up too close to the sun and burn your wings like Icarus. Number 8, don't make your work your life. It should not make you who you are. You should define yourself, rooted in reality and the uniqueness you bring to this world. Number 9, be yourself. Not the cliche version where just you be yourself and everybody will love you. No. Be yourself, but truly and deeply learn who you are. Go on a journey of self-discovery, and once you find the truest version of you, stand on it. Number 10, have an artistic outlet. It helps you practice using your imagination creatively to solve problems, and it also helps to develop discipline and empathy and sympathy for others. All right, now back to the main points. Number 6, you are a threat to other ethnicities of men. Now, I was watching this guy, Christopher Grandison, and he said that Black Americans and other Black people who descend from West Africa have a higher sensitivity to testosterone. And because of that, we get more from it than any other man on the planet, which is what kind of helps us and makes us stick out amongst other men. It gives you a kind of boost that naturally comes while others will have to probably use supplements in order to catch up to it. White supremacist men will attack you physically and reputationally because with white supremacy, they think that they are the dominant male. And your very existence proves them otherwise. They will want to make you smaller or weaker than you actually are, to make them feel a sense of dominance that is actually naturally dormant in you. A lot of other races and some other Black ethnicities are also jealous of your natural gift and will act similarly to the white supremacists. This also makes you very attractive to women of all races and ethnicities. And jealous men will target you even as a boy to make sure that you never realize your masculine potential and challenge their white supremacy when you grow up. And one of the greatest ways in which they do this is by sabotaging your education. They do this in order to make sure that you don't grow up to create your own infrastructure, your own societies, your own communities. And this has been one of the very things that has kept Black Americans from being able to recreate things like the Black Wall Streets. Number 7, build a brotherhood and follow a code. Not like a gang or anything, but find other like-minded Black men that also follow a similar code of conduct or build one together. And build together. There is a saying that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You will accomplish way more together than you ever will solo. Not that that means that you shouldn't move while you're solo either. It is the responsibility of your brotherhood to protect and provide for each other, your Black women, your Black children, and your Black elderly. White supremacy has beaten us, in my opinion, because we have yet to form very strong brotherhoods like those brotherhoods back in the day, like Deacons of Defense or, the old school Black Panthers. When we come together and we form these brotherhoods and make them very, very strong and very, very hard to infiltrate, I believe this is what we need in order to turn the tides so that we can be able to do things like protect each other and protect our family and protect our women and protect our elderly. Number 8, women do not validate your manhood. I've talked to plenty of men throughout my life, and many of them believe that the number and or quality of women that they've been with make them more of a man. But in reality, it actually shows their immaturity and lack of self-control. Women are not notches on a belt. They are human beings who have their own thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And if you think that being with women makes you more of a man, then the work you put into this world and the legacy you leave behind for your children, then you're a very foolish man. Number 9, be a man of your word. Always stand on your word and never deviate from it as much as you can possibly help it. The more you stick to your word, the more trustworthy you are to others, and the more dependable you are to them as well. And if you're untrustworthy, people won't entrust you with things, including opportunities to get ahead. The world is already full of scammers and liars. People crave trustworthy people whom they can depend on. So don't be that guy who scams or who lies, because once you aren't worth the word that you say, then that will be a very terrible lifestyle that you'll live. And that's not something that you want to create for yourself. So always be a man who stands on his word and means what he says and says what he means. Number 10, make the best of the hand fate has dealt you. Now this one is hard because, it depends on what you're born as and what you're born into. Some men are born tall, some men are born rich, some men are born handsome, and some men are born with none of these. Use what you have and don't compare yourself to others, because comparison is a thief of joy, and it will make it very hard for you to believe in yourself and be able to accomplish what it is that you can accomplish. And not only that, but be resilient. A resilient man makes the best out of whatever he's given. And resiliency makes a man more attractive and more successful in the world, because he'll be able to make a way out of no way. Which is especially what the Black American community is truly known for, which is always making something out of nothing. So be resilient and always be able to, creatively think and use whatever you can to make sure that you can create something of value for the world, and that you make the best out of whatever you've been given. Thank you for following along with me and my philosophy. And I want you to make sure to, if you show this to, any of your children, make sure they see the opposite side too, so they can understand what it is that the other side has to go through. So that way we're both understanding of not only what we have to go through ourselves and what will help us, but also understand what the other side has to go through as well, so that we can better understand each other and, help create a bunch of people who are very caring about each other and what everyone has to go through. And when it comes to how these things are done, I know that, they're more so in a fatherly type way. I'll try to see if I could do something a little different later on. But for now, this is what I have for what I would teach my Black daughter and what I would teach my Black son. If you have anything you want to debate about, or things you want to add, or, tell me about, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. I'm always down there. I'll be ready to, go at it with anything. And I always want you to remember that duality and balance are both the keys to life. Peace.